If you're anything like me, you have a lot of ideas that never get finished. You have just a Twitter profile full of drafts that all mostly suck and need workshopping. Or you have a notes app just filled to the brim with random ideas you're never going to complete. Or you have a script for a video that doesn't have a third example of a thing. You not only have a jacket that makes you look like you think you know how to play guitar, you also have a lot of projects you just don't finish. This is advice from the worst of us, but I'm going to give you just a couple random tips that have helped me to finish things. If you've been putting something off for years, there comes this temptation that the thing must become larger, more grandiose, and better simply because it's taken you so long to work on it. You think to yourself, well, it's been 5 years since I made a YouTube video. If I'm gonna make one now, it better be darn good. No, just sit in a chair in some random Airbnb and say stuff to a camera for fun. That's enough, speaking to nobody specifically here. Whether it took you 5 years or took you a week, just make the thing. It doesn't need to be any better just because it took you a long time. My second tip is to just tell somebody. Pick somebody in your life who's relatively responsible, who will check in on you and ask you how things are going. It's nice to have a little bit of accountability from somebody who actually knows what you're working on and can sort of check in with you, especially if that thing is going to take longer than like a day or a week. My third tip goes against the second tip. It's don't tell somebody all the details. If I have a fun idea for a TV show or a YouTube video or a t-shirt or a design or whatever, if I tell somebody the funny ideas that I'm having for it, then we can sort of chuckle along about it and they say, oh, that's so funny, you know, great idea. And I get a little bit of that dopamine kick that happens when you've created something good and I feel sort of satisfied. But I found with my personal life, it's much helpful. But I found I really need to save that satisfaction of external validation for the end, for the final product of the thing. And so as much as possible, if I'm patient, if I wait until people experience the final version of it, that satisfaction is much greater, and also it's a bit of a small drive in and of itself. Looking forward to the finished product and keeping it a surprise really helps me actually get it done. Anytime I come up with anything, I think to myself, wow, you've done it, Zach. You come up with the best idea for a book or TV show or whatever. And when I have ideas like this, I start to think I'm gonna ruin them if I work on them. Like if I have this idea for a story and instead of doing a full movie, I just put out a short film, or worse yet, I just write a summary of it and post it on Medium, oh my goodness, I'm spoiling my best idea and I've ruined it. Trust me, more ideas will come. And if you treat your ideas as holy and too good to be worked on, they're never gonna come to fruition. So I say ruin it. Ruin your best idea. Create something and put it out in the world and have it suck a little bit. That's so much better than it sitting up in your brain forever. So whatever's in the back of your head that you've been saving, just do it. Just put it out on the internet. Make it happen and put it somewhere and make it a small, happy thing. And that can be it. And that's enough. Ugh. I just convicted myself saying that out loud. Ugh. Anna came up with this. Say hi to Anna. Whatever you're working on, do the smallest, most achievable version of that thing. Think to yourself, what's the smallest it can possibly be and function? Was it gonna be a movie? If you could make it into a short film, do a short film. Or better yet, could it just be a short story? Then do a short story. This has helped me so much. All of my ideas are too big for me to actually complete, which means they would never get done. But if I can just condense it down into a much, much smaller version of the thing, then first of all, I get something done, which feels really good. And I discover what about it is essential. If you do it in a small, compact versions, and then you can finish in an afternoon or even a week, what you're gonna discover is that there are essential parts of your story, there are essential parts of your thing, and there are non-essential parts. And once you have the essential parts, it makes it much easier to understand what the story is about. And if you can complete something small, then you have something to build off of. Let's say you wanted to write a TV show, but instead you condensed it down into just a summary that's 3 pages long that covers everything you want to hit in the TV show. That's a working document that you can add to. Now you have a couple of ideas of episodes you could write, but you've gotten the story onto paper. You've gotten it out into the world. Those are all my tips for finishing things. Essentially, it comes down to, hey, I should make a bad YouTube video in the attic of an Airbnb that I'm staying at for a couple days. This was fun. This was good. I like this. This is a neat spot too. Look at this, huh? Huh?